You've got a bike that you want to sell. In this video, I'm going to give you all of our pro tips so that you can get as much money for it as possible. Don't sell your bike dirty. Give your bike a deep clean. If it's clean and sparkling, it'll look much better and you will attract more buyers. Plus, you'll be able to get more money for it as it makes it more attractive and suggests to buyers that you've taken good care of it. We have dedicated videos on cleaning where you can get more information, but we'd suggest giving it a thorough clean. Degrease the drivetrain and also clean inside the little recesses where dirt can accumulate, but a buyer might inspect. The little gaps near the brakes where dust collects is a classic, as are the jockey wheels and the hubs. Bike detailing finishing products such as silicone spray can give your bike some extra shine and sparkle. Also, if your bike has really grubby white bar tape, you may want to consider swapping it out for some newer stuff, as it can really make the bike look a lot more special. But this will depend on the value of the bike that you're spending and how much the bar tape is going to cost relative to that. Take good photos of your bike, and this should go without saying. Some of you might accuse me of telling you how to suck eggs here, but considering the amount of terrible photos that I've seen on used bike adverts and submitted to the Bike Vault, might I add, It really doesn't go without saying. So, basic tips: choose a well-lit location and also a simple background that helps the bike stand out. Something like this light bathstone coloured wall against this dark bike, there's a strong visual contrast there. But, extra tip, if you want the bike to stand out more from the background, bring it away from the background or the wall that it's against, create some depth between the two, and that way it'll stand out even more. A shadow stand is the tool. The ultimate bike photo to make it look really cool. Yes! Yeah, all right! Woo! Also, set your bike up to make it as photogenic as possible. This means following the Bike Vault rules, to be honest. Remove all the gubbins off it, grubby water bottles, bags, lights, all that sort of stuff. Align up the wheels and tyres correctly. Put the crank in biggie smalls and just don't have it set up weird. What do I mean by this? Not enough seat post, too much seat post. Just make it look right. If you have a weird stem on there, maybe consider swapping that out to the original of how it came, just so that it looks more normal. One of the reasons that I was able to buy this used Pinarello for such a low price relative to what it should have been worth is, I suspect, because it was set up like this with this kind of weird steerer tube extender thing going on, which I suspect put a lot of buyers off. So to give you more of an idea, here's a quick fire list of examples of good and bad photos of bikes. This is shit. This is underexposed. The bike isn't centered in the frame. Weird angle of the bike. It's non-drive side. This is good. This is really shit. You get the idea. Good photos make your bike look much more appealing. Make sure you have a good idea of what your bike is actually worth, as that way you'll be able to get the most for it, and you'll also have a better understanding of how to negotiate the sale price with potential buyers. Now, you often see bikes that are outrageously priced, either too low or too high. Price your bike too low and you won't get as much money for it as you could have done, but you'll also put off some buyers as they'll think it's too good to be true and perhaps stolen, as there's quite a few stolen bikes out there, unfortunately. Price it too high and, well, you'll just put off a lot of buyers and maybe your bike won't sell. The solution? Do your research. Make sure you know what the bike was originally bought for and how old it is, and have a look at what other similarly spec'd bikes are being sold for used. Things like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, you can do your research there and see what things are going for. And if someone contacts you and says, "Oh, I'm interested in the bike, has there been much interest in it?" Always say yes. And if someone contacts you saying, "Would you take this lower amount for the bike?" If you've done your research and you know that the bike is priced competitively in the market, then you're in a much better place to stand your ground and say, no, the bike is fairly priced, and that way you can, you're not in a hurry to sell, and you can get what it's worth. And make sure your bike works. If the gears aren't shifting properly or the brakes are rubbing, when someone comes to potentially buy the bike, they'll probably use these as reasons to try and ask for money off the list price, and there's no reason for it. These are things that can be easily fixed without even spending any money in many cases. So, for example, most common problems, the gears, they're not indexed properly, so that you can't maybe shift into every single gear, or there's just annoying clicking between the gears when you try and shift. This is something that's easily fixed and remedied, as is rubbing brakes. You simply have to just spin the wheel freely and you can instantly tell if the brake is rubbing, either the disc or maybe on a rim brake bike, it can happen too. This is something, again, easily fixed. Another classic problem, loose headset. If the headset has play in it, someone can easily detect that straight away. These are all things that can be fixed very easily, often no cost, with videos that we have on the channel. So if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you do, and just check out these videos that we've got in our library. Other things to be aware of is that sometimes the reason why gears might not be shifting properly is because parts might be worn out. Now, if parts do need replacing, typically maybe the chain or the cassette, then you're going to have to weigh up, is it economically worth actually replacing these parts relative to how much money that's going to get me when I sell the bike? Am I going to recoup that cost? If the answer's no, then it's probably worth just listing your bike for a little bit less to take into consideration the parts that need replacing, and be clear with that with the people that you're selling the bike to. So those are our tips for how to sell your bike for more money. I hope you found these tips useful, and if you have, well, give this video a thumbs up, help support the channel, and let us know your tips down in the comment section below, the ones that we haven't suggested, because you guys often have amazing ideas, so I'd love to read them. Right, share this video with your friends if you found it useful, and I'm gonna go now, so cheers. Love you, bye.